This is Daily Treasures with words of comfort, encouragement, and hope from the Word of God. Here is Dr. Nick Venditti with today's devotional.
February 20. Strengthened to strengthen others. Welcome to Daily Treasures from the Word of God. Today's reading is Luke 21 through 24. Our lesson is from Luke 22, verse 32. But I have prayed for you, that your faith may not fail, and you, when once you have turned again, strengthen your brothers. The Apostle Peter is one character who is easy to identify with. Who has not said something inappropriate at some time during his or her lifetime? Or who has never said, "I'll never do such a thing," and then do it anyway? There are things I see in Peter that I can relate to in my own life. What most strikes me about Jesus' words in our passage is the depth of Jesus' concern for Peter's restoration. Sometimes we remember Peter's denials rather than his later restoration. Let's review Jesus' attitude towards Peter. First, Jesus knew Peter would deny him. Jesus says in verse 34, "And he said, I say to you, Peter, the rooster will not crow today until you have denied 3 times that you know me." Peter believed he would never do such a thing, yet he did so. It is amazing to see how Christ did not reject Peter, but allowed him the freedom to fail. Jesus did not want him to fail, as seen in this warning to him about the test he would soon face, yet he did. Secondly, Jesus knew Peter would be restored. Jesus did not focus on the failure. Rather, he looked forward to his future reinstatement. Peter's denial was the lowest point of his ministry. But in John 21, verses 15 through 19, the Lord asks Peter 3 times if he loves him. He answers yes each time. Peter is then restored by the Lord. From here on, Peter becomes the rock for others to lean on. Lastly, Christ prayed for Peter. Jesus' prayer and petition went beyond Peter's own personal restoration. He would also strengthen his brothers. The Lord's supplication was for Peter and the others. God's gifts and our experiences are always for others. As Peter grew, he was to help others mature. The principle is that the stronger would help the weaker. This is the goal of discipleship in its truest sense. In review, Christ knew Peter would deny him. Christ knew Peter would be restored. Christ prayed for Peter. Let's learn from Jesus to help other leaders to be restored. Yes, they may fail us and others, but let us be like Christ who prayed for Peter. One of the best things we can do for our leaders is to pray for them. It is that deep intercession that moves the hand of God. If for some reason a leader fails, let us be there with a helping hand ready to walk with him or her rather than reject them. Restoration is a mighty witness of God's grace. It has been a pleasure to share with you daily treasures from the Word of God. Tomorrow's Bible reading is Job chapter 1 through 4. Let's not forget the words of the psalmist. The law of your mouth is better to me than thousands of gold and silver pieces. Until tomorrow, and may God bless you in abundance as you study the Word of God.